Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Kilo 8 Miles Finest. What it do? Ronald Fulton. What's up? What's up, Linda Moore? Shalom. Goldsboro, North Carolina. What's up, Loretta? Hey, Louis S. Maurice. Is that Blackstock? What up, Chad? What's up? What's up? What's up? Top Sarge, Alabama. Talking about you, man. You might want to listen to this. Q Dollar, San Antonio in the building. What up, DD? Yeah, LaVille Thompson, Thomas, Illinois. What's up, Illinois? Andre, what it do? I see Raspin. What is that? My one Aunt Nellie? Spring, what's up, Spring, Texas? Okay. Ruth MT. Capri Lopez. What's up, Capri? Bug Horse. What's up? What's up, Bug Horse? Okay, fam. Okay. What's up? What's up? What's up, Eric? Going in, fam. Going in. Y'all ready, fam? Y'all ain't ready for this. Let's talk about an uncivilized mutt. We got a grand old party sub leader who says that he can't wait till the Supreme Court overturns the 14th Amendment. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the 14th Amendment, you may want to pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because the 14th Amendment was passed after the Civil War to grant enslaved people citizenship and also equal protection and due process under the law. Without citizenship and due process under the law, we go back to the 1800s, the early 1800s and beyond and before, where these uncivilized mutts just robbed, raped, pillaged, and murdered with impunity. That's what he's talking about. Make no mistake about it. You cannot underestimate these uncivilized mutts. You cannot underestimate how far they will go to have an unfair advantage. You cannot underestimate their hatred. These uncivilized mutts will pay $20 a gallon for gas if it means they can rob, rape, pillage, murder with impunity like their ancestors did. They'll do anything to get back to that. I've seen them in certain comment sections saying that they would like to own slaves. They wish that Black people were slaves again. I've seen them. Don't think these are just bots. Don't think these are just people, just don't think it's just regular old mentally ill people. They are mentally ill and they do need medication. But don't think they're just regular people with no titles. These are oftentimes doctors, lawyers, nurses, nurse practitioners. These are school teachers, other educators. These are county clerks, uh, jurors, judges. These are prosecutors. These are firemen. These are politicians, lawmakers who hold these type of views. These are members of law enforcement who holds these type of views. See, oftentimes when we think about uncivilized mutts like this, we only think about the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazis. Oh, they radical, they crazy, they wild. No, man, no. Did you know the Ku Klux Klan was started in a law firm? They would have us to believe that the Ku Klux Klan was started somewhere in some old hillbilly house with a bunch of rednecks just getting together and saying, let's go get them all, let's go get them. No. It was much more sophisticated than that. It started in a law firm with lawyers and other prominent members who sat there at a table and devised a plan to terrorize Black communities and figure out a way to enslave Black people all over again, because they could not stand the fact that Black people could operate with full autonomy. They couldn't accept that. They couldn't accept Black people as human beings with rights. I ain't even talking about equal rights. I'm just saying rights. Just the right to congregate, the right to live, the right to laugh. I say laugh because some of them, they can't stand the idea of Black people having a good time. It hurts them. It hurts their heart. They see Black people laughing, especially when they're in a bad mood. Remember the barbecue lady? Barbecue Karen? Black people in the park having a good old time, just laughing and enjoying themselves. And she bring her whole miserable, depressed ass over there calling 911 because they using coal on the barbecue pit in the park. Y'all, some of y'all do too much damn playing and dancing and going on. Some of y'all be doing way too much, not paying attention to what's going on out here. They gonna put you in a position where you ain't gonna have no choice but to pay attention to what's going on. Because if you don't wake up, one of these days you are gonna wake up and you're gonna be chained to another human being. If you think slavery can't happen, think about all of the other things, the other events that's been happening that we thought was way in the past. These people that roll back decades worth of work and legislation, decades. They already went back 60 years. What's another 40? You know what I'm saying? What's another 100? I get it, fam. Life is hard. You don't want to think about all this stuff. It's depressing. You don't want to think about this stuff every day. But we ain't got no choice, because these uncivilized mutts are the descendants of their ancestors. Many of their ancestors owned slaves. They want to get back to that. Having the privilege and all of the money that they got off of ill-gotten gains, sitting on their ass while Black folks were working, building this country up. The racial gap, the economic gap, the wealth gap, That ain't enough for them. They want complete control. They can't stand the idea of getting knocked out when they run up on people, run up on blacks, or use the N-word. They trying to get back to being able to say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do to you. Walk up in your house, rape your babies. Yeah, they trying to get back to that. Go up in your house, rape your little daughters, your wives, and men too, because you know they was raping men too. They want to get back to that. There's some of them out there who want to get all the way back to that. That's how serious it is out here, man. So shake your ass, crack your jokes, have some fun, but have some balance and understand what else is going on out here. And get ready and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Because it's getting worse. We've been saying over and over and over again, it's getting worse and it's going to continue to get worse. They still, it like having all of this advantage that they have, it ain't enough. They want it all. They want it all. They trying to get back to when they speak to you, you got to look down at the ground. They trying to get back to slapping you in front of your family and you stand there and take it. They trying to get back to that. I'm going to tell you straight up, fam. I respect those who fought in the for our civil rights. I have so much admiration for those who stood up, who were on the front lines. And when I say on the front lines, it doesn't necessarily mean that they were marching, holding signs. You could be on the front line in so many different ways. You could be on the front line by giving your donations, backing an activist, somebody that you know that is about that life, backing somebody you know will put that work in. It's all kind of ways to get on the front line. So I support, I absolutely admire the work that they put in. I revere those people. Our people, my people. They coming, fam. Coming. They're coming. (2026), you have a member of Congress talking about eradicating the 14th Amendment, saying that there are people in this country who are legal citizens, don't deserve to be legal citizens based on their race. They don't deserve protection under the law. Look, we already don't get protection as it is. Now they trying to totally remove the language so that there can't even be an argument about it. They have completely gutted the Trump administration. They have completely gutted the civil rights legislations that were passed. They gutted it. If you've been discriminated against, they've removed language to where you can't even present an argument. And they're quick to say, well, you know, it's them. They won't pull themselves up by the bootstraps. They just, they just. Now, I want you to remember this though, family. I think, I know some of y'all gonna get mad about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think some of the Democrats are in cahoots with them because they're sitting back and they're not loud enough. They're not doing anything. The Republicans would never stand by and let the Democrats run them up like this. Never. The seats wield the same amount of power, influence, and income. So if the Republicans can fight tooth and nail at every turn, every single day, up in arms about every little thing, why can't the Democrats do it? So everything that has happened adversely in this country has happened either on the Democrats' watch or the Republicans' watch. If it happened on the Democrats' watch, the Republicans watched it happen. If it happened on the Republicans' watch, the Democrats are watching it happen. This is happening on the Democrats' watch. You can't just tell me that nothing can be done just because you don't have the House and the Senate. The Republicans didn't have the House and the Senate, but you couldn't tell. They were still raising hell. And the Democrats was very careful about trying to run over them, steamroll. They was very careful about breaking laws or crossing those lines. They were very careful about getting into that gray territory. Republicans don't give a damn. And if the Democrats ain't doing nothing about it, I got to look at you funny about that, man. You know, I got to look at you. I got to, It's akin to having an enemy. And you have an ally. And your ally is not doing anything about the enemy. They're just kind of watching the action. This is supposed to be your equal ally in combat, but your ally is just watching the action, not really doing anything about it. They're leaving it all on you to handle. I'm going to be suspicious of that so-called ally. I'm like, which side are you on? Listen to this uncivilized mutt, fam. This is the GOP leader that I'm speaking of right here. This is Nathaniel Ledbetter. And here's the thing about his last name. If this uncivilized mutt actually led better, he would not have to cheat. He would not have to move the goalpost. Check him out.
It gives us an opportunity to look at those congressional districts again, gives us a chance at all of them if we get some reprieve from the courts. And so we'll see how that goes, and certainly hope that the Supreme Court will overturn Amendment 14 and gives us a shot to revisit those.
What would you say from your perspective? I mean, other than Mr. Pro Tem, everyone was relatively silent on the goings-ons. What would you say from your perspective is the biggest misconception about what the bills do, and a message that you'd like to see out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest misconception is, the thing about it is, people tend to forget what happened when this thing went to court before. We actually, the Republican Party had that seat in, in Mobile, number 2 seat, that's the congressional seat 2, so the district 2, and so that was one of the things. There's been a push through the courts to try to overtake some of these red state seats, and that's certainly what happened in that one. And with the ruling that happened in Louisiana, we felt like it gave us a chance to maybe regain that seat, but also opened up District 7. So I think that's happened. All we need now is the courts to overturn 14, and we can look at a new election. The thing is, if we did nothing was going to happen. And I applaud the governor for calling us back in and give us a chance to revisit that and look at it. And what happened here in Montgomery in that Senate seat probably should never happen to begin with. And so, of course, I'm at the point that probably none of it should happen to begin with. We got 3 branches of government. It's our job to legislate, to draw those district lines, and for the court to interfere with that And to be honest with you, I thought it was a slap in our face because we'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in reapportionment drawing those maps, and they let an 18-year-old kid from the university, or I don't know how old he was, maybe 19, send the map in, and they took it without consideration for what we had done. And, the way that the system is set up, that's the job of the legislative body. And I think we've done it in an appropriate way, and it's disappointing that they didn't follow that rule.
So just in case you don't know, fam, the 14th Amendment is a cornerstone of American civil rights that granted citizenship to formerly enslaved Black people. And it guarantees equal protection under the law. Now, we've still been fighting for that equal protection. The whole time we've been fighting for that equal protection because they apply it at will. They apply it when they feel like applying it. But at the very least, it is written into law that that's how it's supposed to be. So when you can prove otherwise, you have some remedies, right? He wants that gutted. He wants that taken out of the Constitution. He wants it all the way taken out. He's trying to get all the way back to when his ancestors robbed, raped, pillaged, murdered, subjugated, enslaved Black people. They're trying to get back to that. They're trying to get back to legal separation under the law. They're trying to get back to Jim Crow. Yeah. Pretty soon, you're going to start seeing restaurants with whites only signs. I'm telling you, it's coming. I don't think it's going to last, but I'm just saying it's coming because every day they get more and more emboldened. I saw somebody said, you do know that the Democrats don't have the numbers. You do know that the Democrats don't have the numbers. That's why they have to vote in the midterms. You do know that I do this shit, right? You do know that, right? I do this. You do know that, right? I ain't just some rapper, right? I've been on this political game. I've been on the game. I've been on point. Day one, I've been on point. My point is, although the Democrats don't hold the numbers, there are things that they can do to slow down a lot of what the Republicans are doing and make the Republicans think twice about doing stuff. Just like the Republicans slowed them down when they had the House and the Senate and made them not even consider certain things because they knew it was going to be hell to pay. That's my point. You got to fight fire with an extinguisher. You can't fight fire with fire. You got to destroy. When your enemy come for you, you got to do them so dirty that they never even try you again in life, and that any potential enemies see that and say, I don't want none of that. I'm not going out that way, man. That is the truth. When the Democrats had the House and the Senate, you damn near couldn't even tell they had the House and the Senate because the Republicans were still making moves on a daily basis, they were still making advances, incremental, but still advances. I'm saying, where's that energy? We know John Fetterman is an op. We know that. We know he's an op. He's a Democrat that sides with the Republican Party 99% of the time. So we know he's a mole. We know he's an op. But what I'm telling you is there are a lot of other Democratic ops. There are a lot of people that are in the Democratic Party who are ops, who are not for equality. They are not for it. They don't care nothing about equality. They don't care nothing about black folks. They ain't got they ain't got a compassionate bone in their bodies. They're only a Democrat to run interference, or they're only a Democrat so they can get something for themselves, to get some money, to get some power, to have some influence, to have free health care for life and get a pension. That's the only reason why they became Democrats, because they could win that seat. A lot of politicians run for seats that they can win. That's why Trump ran on the Republican ticket, because he knew he could win. He knew he could win the Republican ticket because he knew that if Republicans don't love nothing else, they love a good racist, somebody who can uphold racism, a really hateful person. That's the Republican Party. I'm not saying they ain't got racist and hateful people in the Democrat Party, because God knows they do. But what I'm saying, the Republican Party is the hub. I heard somebody said this a long time ago. Y'all can drop it in the comments if y'all know who know the name of the person. But somebody said a while back, I'm not saying every Republican is a racist, but if you're a racist, you're probably Republican. I think Bill Maher said that. I'm not saying every Republican is a racist, but if you are white and you are a Republican, you're probably a racist. That don't mean ain't no racist Democrats now, because it's a bunch of them. It's millions of them. I'm just saying the Republican Party got it on lock. They got a lot more of them. And they are not ashamed of letting you know that's who they are. The trip part about it is the blacks who run over there, and they see what's going on. They see what's going on just like we see what's going on. They see it. But they still walk through life making excuses for Trump, and they spew and they regurgitate white supremacist talking points. It's amazing. It's amazing. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Jessica Olsen, what's up? What's up, Andre? Five Lucky Ducky. Dear listener, by Low Key. What's up, Shada? David Pascal. What's up? What's up? What's up, Stephanie Dixon? A lot of black men voted for Trump. Yes, they did. But it was more black men didn't vote for him. You dig what I'm saying? You probably had a good 10%. Even if it was 20%, the majority, the overwhelming majority of black men did not vote for Trump. So let's get that straight. Let's make sure we put that out there. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.